Hello everyone, I'm here to do that pick a pile reading that I posted up on my Facebook page, Goddess Garage Tarot Parlor. Please forgive my voice. For some reason it seems to be a little rusty this morning. I'm not sure why. I haven't been talking a whole lot. So I was just doing some Little Mermaid exercises because my granddaughter does it. She's so sweet. Her name is Annabelle. I have Lucy and Annabelle as my granddaughters, and I have a little video of her going ah, ah, and then she'll go ma, ma, because she's trying to get her mother's attention because she's doing Ariel's voice. And when I first saw the video, I'm like, why is she holding her throat? And my daughter reminded me, well, Ariel holds her throat when she's giving her voice away to the sea witch. So I just did a little meditation and sort of a reflection of give me my voice back. So hopefully it'll last through this whole reading. It seems to be better. It was really rusty when I first started to talk, so I was like, okay, we're gonna get a little drink of water and get together, do the mermaid exercise, and we'll be great. So thank you, Annabelle, for giving me that exercise with ah. I just thought I'd share. I'm a grandmother who loves her granddaughters so much. So anyways, on to our reading. So we've got a 4-pile for the piles that we did, 4-card pile. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of the decks that we're doing. The first one is this one. Well, the second one actually is this one. I pulled it out because I don't have the box for it anymore. It is a fairy deck, a fairy oracle deck that I do. Well, I do have the box. It's tucked away in a cupboard at home somewhere. I've had this deck for quite a few years, so I haven't pulled out the box in a while. I keep it wrapped in silk instead, as I do a lot of the decks that I work with a lot. So that being said, it is a fairy deck. I really love it. The messages are very cool in it. I'm a certified fairyologist, so that means I know a lot about fairies and their magic and mermaids as well. So the next card that we've got is, well, the tarot card. That's the back of it. Isn't that pretty? I like that. So the tarot deck we're using is the Silver Witchcraft Tarot by Barbara Moore. I did a video on this particular deck. I did a review for this deck. So if you want to know more about this deck, definitely there'll be some cards in here, obviously, if you want to see some of the cards. But the review really shows you a lot of the cards. I do make a habit of not showing you every card in the deck when I do a tarot review. Just because when I'm doing a tarot review, I tend to go over what's sort of different about this tarot deck, what the feel and the vibe of this tarot deck is like. I don't just sit there and show you every card. Some people do that, and that's awesome. But I feel like, one, it gets really boring because I don't want to just sit there and watch someone flip through cards. And second, I like to leave a little to the imagination, so to speak, you know, so that if you decide to purchase this deck, because I do this so that you can make an informed decision about whether you want this deck or not. This is the High Priestess, by the way, in this deck. So if you want this deck or not, at least when you buy it, there's a few more surprises for you because you haven't seen all the cards. You've seen probably a lot of them, but not all of them. So it's it makes it fun, I find. You know, I don't want to know everything. Let me get to know my deck in my way. I'll give you a taste, and then you and it's not like I, you know, don't go through a lot of cards. I do go through quite a few, so you get a really good feel for the deck. So if you want to know more about that deck, I did a review for that deck. I also did a review for this deck. This is the Sacred Traveler. This is the next deck that we're using in this reading today. So this is a funny kind of deck for me because this deck kept popping up in my feed, you know, oh, this is on sale, here's Hay House has got it, Amazon would suggest it, you know, all these, Facebook would suggest it, because all you have to do is think about it and suddenly Facebook's suggesting things to you. But this one I resisted for quite a while, but then I did finally buy it, and I really, really love this deck. It's a very beautiful deck. There's the back of it. So just the back of it is beautiful. I find it has beautiful messages. It's very inspiring. It's sacred traveling as far as the soul and the spirit is considered. It takes you to different realms, that sort of thing. It reminds you of where you're supposed to be heading and whatnot. So it can give you tough love when it needs to, but it does it in a very gentle, heartfelt way, which is my aim when I'm doing a reading for my clients. So the fourth and final deck is the Fool's Wisdom. I also have a review under my Tarot Deck and Oracle review playlist for this deck. Now this deck is really cool. I've bought a few of her decks that she's done, and I really like this Fool's Wisdom because the Fool is actually part of the tarot, even though this is an oracle deck. So the Fool is the first card of the major arcana. Now if you want to know the difference between major and minor arcanas, you can watch my lessons in tarot and you'll get that. But the Fool's Wisdom oracle, all the cards are a Fool's card, and the Fool is very wise because he's an innocent, and he just kind of calls it like he sees it, which is kind of cool, and we're all that Fool. And the Fool kind of reminds us about what we should be removing from our lives, what we should be bringing into our lives. Again, he can be rough. He's a little like the mermaids that way. When I pull out my mermaid deck, I always warn people that the mermaids are that girlfriend that will tell you your hair looks like crap or that the dress doesn't fit you properly. They're very truthful. Sometimes it can be a little ouchy. It's like, oh, okay. But you always know you're getting the truth from them. So the Fool's like that as well. You always know you're getting the truth from this particular deck. So that's why I kind of like this deck. So let's get into the reading. So I wasn't sure what the energy was going to be like because COVID's here and we're kind of, you know, are we coming or going? And a lot of people are, you know, they were feeling good when the weather got better, you know, as far as, you know, wanting to be out. And then there's been a couple little scares and things like that. So now people are retreating. Some people are retreating again. And the restrictions are kind of going back and forth a little bit because as a community, as a province, because I'm in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, as a country, as the world, we're not sure exactly how this is going on, like what's happening. You know, we're hoping for the best, hopefully preparing for the worst, but hoping for the best, and hopefully we'll just get through this. So for those of you that picked 65, that's the first number. I know that's backwards in my camera, but deal with it. 65. So I picked very specific numbers for a reason because I wanted to see who picked what numbers. Now, I also remembered I gotta go get my pendulum because I've got some questions I have to answer. So if you could just bear with me for 1 second while I grab that. Okay, back with my pendulum. I just remembered I had questions as well. Yes or no questions for people. So like I said, like I was saying, I picked very specific numbers. So I picked 65, 14, 72, and 46. And I'm going to tell you what each one means. So 65, for me, if you've picked that one, it means kind of you've been having a very spiritual time. It's been a time of slowdown. It's been a time of reflection for you, and good, healthy kind of reflection. You haven't had too many crises as far as spiritual, mental, emotional crises go. So things have been okay for you, but now you're starting to wonder, okay, now what kind of thing? So you're looking to see, you know, what's sort of the next step, that kind of thing. So your message, for those of you that pick 65, is faraway places and get ready for new horizons. Now keep in mind that this can be quite literal as well. So it might be, you're not traveling today obviously because there's a lot of travel bans and whatnot on, but within a year you're probably going to be far away someplace. But in the meantime, you get ready for new horizons. So now's the time to kind of keep that sort of meditation, reflection, journaling, whatever it is you've found peace and happiness in to get you through this, keep that up, because that's actually going to take you where you need to go. You're doing a lot more growth than you think you are, because you're sort of having a little bit of doubt about it. Like, you know, am I doing enough? Am I really growing? I don't know. I just sit here and try to reflect and I'm not sure. So so that's what this card is saying. It's taking you places, and it's actually going to allow for some travel. Not now, but down the road it's going to lead to that, and it's going to lead to kind of expansive kind of travel. Because there's nothing like traveling the world to expand your horizons and to really learn. I find traveling is one of the best educations someone can get. I would like to travel more because I need more education. And then the next card, the fairy card, is Sanctuary, is what you got. So that's very fitting. It says, embrace the need for solitude. Your inner sanctuary calls you. Renew yourself and thrive. So perhaps you've been feeling like maybe I need to go out, because maybe you've been seeing on Facebook, you know, I know here in Kingston the patios have opened up, so a lot of people are out, you know, having drinks with friends and having lunch and all that kind of stuff, and maybe there's some pressure on you, or self-inflicted kind of pressure, you know, from seeing social media and stuff of, oh, maybe I should be out there, blah blah blah. If you don't feel safe going out, then don't go out. There's a lot of things you can do online, and if you're finding that your sanctuary is in the solitude of being at home, being isolated, then do that and keep up that work. And don't feel like there's pressure to need to go out. Now you also got the Queen of Swords as your tarot card. So there she is. Let's try and get the light right here. Now I like this deck because in each of the swords of the royal, or the court cards, the royalty, the court cards, they each have a fairy. There's quite an accent that happened out here. So they each have a little fairy, and the swords all have wings on them because the swords are the air element. They're about the mind and being mindful. They're about your thoughts and your words, because of course your thoughts become words, and perhaps you're journaling more. And this little fairy here is actually literally journaling. You've got the Queen of Swords. So this is about, I call the queens the get her done girls, because if you want something done, you need to get a queen to do it, because we make things happen. Plain and simple. So this is sort of reminding you to keep up with the sanctuary, to keep up with whatever you've been doing to get yourself growing. Whether it's journaling, perhaps journaling is something you should try as well if you haven't been doing that already, and putting your words down onto paper, and reflecting back on them, and you know, continuing the meditation, continuing that training and exercising of the mind that you've been doing. Keep that up. You're doing really well at it. I know maybe you feel like I've fallen off the wagon. It's okay. I always say to clients who feel like, you know, if they pick up things like meditation or journaling or whatever, I say don't make it stressful, because if it becomes stressful, then you don't want to do it and you start to avoid it. It's okay if you only do it twice a week. It's okay if you only did it once this week. It's okay if you've done it 3 or 4 times this week. It's great if you've done it every day, but you don't have to do it every day to get the benefit from it. So don't beat yourself up if, you know, because sometimes when we fall off the wagon, we find it really hard to get, well, start again on Monday. It kind of becomes like that diet thing, right? So start it tomorrow, or, you know, just be gentle with yourself and be okay with, I missed today. Maybe perhaps because I needed to rest and do something else. Maybe because I, you know, wanted to do some other activities and this just didn't fit in, and that's okay. Or maybe I didn't need it today. and I might need it tomorrow. So that's okay. Be okay with that. And then for the Fool, you got number 5, the doubtful fool, the doubt fool. I like sort of the tongue-in-cheek that this deck provides. So you, like I mentioned that earlier, that you might be having some doubts about how much you're growing. And the Fool's wisdom message here is, doubt appearances as they may be misleading. So 5, it's interesting that it's a 5 too, because 5s are all about transformation, but they're about hard transformations, transformations that have bumps in the road. So right now you're going through a bit of perhaps a crisis as far as you've been sailing smoothly until now. And you're like, but we're almost through it. I mean, I've been doing this for a while. Why am I having this faith crisis now, or whatever it might be, whatever the doubts might be? You're having it because it's a time of growth. And growth is scary. It's expanding. It's bumpy. There's growing pains and things like that. So that's why you're having some doubts, because suddenly things are changing and you're not feeling the change, but it will just all of a sudden be there. And so let things unfold as they're supposed to. Have faith. Now's the time for you to have faith, both in the universe and in yourself, and know that this too shall grow. You shall grow because you've been working on it. And allow yourself that growth. Don't become your own block now, because you're right there, right? So this is a good one. This is good for you. So now we're going on to number 14. 14. So 14 are people who have had a difficult time. You may have picked this deck because sometimes we sort of subconsciously pick things, not realizing why we're picking things. So for this reading, those of you that picked 14 may be struggling and have been struggling. Every other day is kind of like, okay, if I could just get my pants on, this would be great. So that's okay. 65s have been going smoothly. Now they're kind of hitting sort of a faith crisis. They're going to get through this. But 14s, you've been kind of struggling this whole time. You're also looking for change. You're kind of getting a little antsy and you want things to just go back. Now keeping in mind, it's never going to go back, but it will normalize after a while. So keep that in mind. Sort of this too shall pass kind of thing. So your first card, which is the Sacred Traveler, is taking shelter. So taking shelter, wherever that might be. Now, a lot of times that means home, but wherever you're comfortable, wherever you feel safe, that sort of thing. So taking shelter, and the answers are within. So keep that in mind. Perhaps you've been looking for exterior answers and they're actually within you. So maybe now is the time for reflection for you. So your fairy card, and this is actually an angel on this fairy card, but who am I to argue, is kindness. So kindness, live with compassion, open your heart to all life forms, be an angel with hands. So this means that over the next week or two, you're going to be called upon to help someone out. You've been kind of struggling yourself through all of this COVID stuff, and you're tired of kind of being at home, but you're not sure whether to leave or not, that sort of thing. But you're going to be called on to be kind and show kindness to others and yourself. You're kind of being really harsh with yourself right now, and you're beating yourself up because you're not sure which direction to take. So just remember to be compassionate to everyone, including yourself, but everyone, because everyone's going through their own thing, so you might meet some people if you're going out that are going to argue with you, that are like, just have weird things going on in their minds, because we're all dealing with it. We're dealing with it in different ways. Some people deal with it in panic. Some people deal with it in kindness. Hopefully you're one of those people, because you're being called upon to be one of those people. Some people deal with it with denial. Some people deal with it with overcorrection, that sort of thing. So allow, those people to live their life as they feel they need to deal with it, and always be compassionate. So if someone's barking at you or whatever, let them bark. It's okay. You know that it's much like dogs when they bark, it's an insecurity. They're feeling insecure, they're feeling unsafe. Recognize that in that other human soul that you're facing, that they're scared and they're feeling insecure. You are familiar with that energy, so offer that compassion, send them love, and be okay with the way they're acting. It's not a reflection of you. It's not a reflection of anything you're doing that's incorrect or that's morally wrong or whatever they want to fling at you. Just know that they're in their own panic state, and have some compassion for that. And you might actually be called upon to be a literal angel for someone, helping someone out in trouble. So, watch for that, because that's a great way to earn karma points, by the way. Then you've got this Knight of Wands as your tarot card. So this is an interesting one. This, is a long journey for you. It's feeling like a long journey. It's going to continue to be a bit of a journey for you, but know that it will come to an end. You've got your fire with you, so you're okay. You've got the camel that will travel for many miles without water or food. And the Knight of Wands is movement forward. Now, it's usually movement forward with something you're passionate about or with career. It can also be about health. So perhaps you're finding that things are moving forward for you as far as health. You're feeling healthier. You're feeling better, that sort of thing. You're not quite at the mental crisis that you were once at. Uh-oh, might have to do a mermaid thing. And that's why you're being called upon for that kindness, because you have moved past that crisis of your own, so you're more compassionate to those that are now going through it or still going through it. Now for the Fool, the Righteous Fool. Interesting that you got that. So be wise, not right. So that might be part of that kindness. Perhaps you're going to meet some people that don't want to follow the regulations. Like I said, some people are dealing with this crisis as a denial, and that's okay. That's their thing. Now, I know there's certain regulations in place that they must follow, and that's okay, but again, be wise. Don't necessarily come down on someone super hard. Do it with kindness. Even if you're correcting, correct with kindness as opposed to righteousness. So keep that in mind and allow that person to have that insecurity if they need to go through that. So that's what is sort of the thing you need to give up, is not to necessarily be right, and don't necessarily gang up on people either on social media or in real life. Always be that angel in the crowd to protect, to correct with love and kindness if need be. Okay, so now we go on to 72. Those of you that pick 72. So 72, though you guys are looking for an end, and you're looking for a change. Not like the 14s, who are also looking for a change, but they've been going through a bit of a crisis while they're going through it, and this has been hard on them. The 72s, you guys have been dealing with it okay. You've been, healthily concerned, as some might say, but you've kind of kept a level head. You're kind of the level head among your friends and family, perhaps, too, and you've been really good through this whole thing. But you now are ready for it to be over, and you're looking for a change. You maybe want to get out, you maybe want to go back to work, whatever it might be. So let's take a look and see what you got. So your Sacred Traveler is embracing enthusiasm. Oh, I really like that card. It's butterflies. So you've actually transitioned a little bit through this as well. And shout to the heavens with happiness, because you've got some joy going on and you've got some joy coming in. So this is good. Life is going to be good for you for the next week or two. So embrace that enthusiasm and know that that is a great thing to have to have that enthusiasm, because it's with enthusiasm and anticipation that things that we want to manifest in will come in. So this card is reminding you to embrace that enthusiasm, because whatever it is you want to come in will come in the next couple of weeks, week or two. But you have to be enthusiastic and you have to anticipate it. I did a whole video about anticipation, the law of receiving and giving, to make manifestation work, because a lot of people feel they don't always know how to make it work. I am also going to do another video on the law of grace. That's a whole other thing that you need to also incorporate in order to make manifesting work for you. It's not just putting it out there and saying it's going to come. No. So watch that video, because especially you guys watch that video. It's under Heap of Abundance or Goddess Guidance. I can't remember which one exactly, but look for that video, because this is very important to you today. And then your fairy one is Journey. So she's on a unicorn there, and they're going on a journey. And the message is focus on how far you have come, because you've come a long way since March. Now, how far, not how far you have to go. Because if you start looking, forward, which is always a good place to look, but if you start looking too far forward, where you're going into the future, then you might become a little overwhelmed and think, oh my God, I have so much further to go. You don't. It's not as far as you think. You will find help in unexpected places. So keep up that enthusiasm and anticipation. Help is going to come in. You're going to get your own unicorn, so to speak, to come in, and they'll be just right there when you need them, right place, right time, that sort of thing. So know that, again, your focus isn't how far you have to go. It's how far you come. Congratulate yourself on that. Know that sometimes you need help through some of the phases of any manifesting journey. There's help that's coming, and you're going to be bringing in whatever it is you wished for in the next week or two. It will be happening. Oh, so you've also got the Nine of Wands. Are you guys looking for a new job? Is that what it is? Or a new way of doing work or something? Because it looks like it's going to be happening for you. You're a bit of a leader, or you're going to be in a leader position. So work is going to change for you. Not that it hasn't already, perhaps, but it's going to change, and you might actually be walking into a new job or career of some sort. Maybe you've decided to leave one, or maybe you're wondering, should I leave one? If you should, or if you've been wondering that, this card is kind of saying, yeah, you should. Look, because you're journeying, right? You're journeying. So the journey is perhaps into that new job. Now, I know changing jobs is always scary. I'm only saying that because I can see what your faith or what your Fool is, and you've got the Faithful. So the Faithful. So be faithful. You need to embrace faith and enthusiasm and anticipation. Enthusiasm, anticipation, and faith. That's your mantra this week and for the next couple of weeks. And the Fool's wisdom is simply have faith. Have faith. Because by switching those jobs or switching that career or whatever, you're feeling like you're flying without a net a little bit. So if you've been thinking about changing that, now's the time to do it. Now's the time to embrace it. It's saying yes. Things are at a close for you. It's a good time to tie up loose ends. It's a good time to end this and start fresh. So that's what your reading is for the 72s. Now, those of you that picked 46, you're going to have actually a couple of lucky weeks. So 46ers, you guys are ending things in the same way that the 72s are. Nice and smooth. Maybe there were a couple of bumps, but you're going to be rewarded for the bumps. So the first card you got is solitude. So for you guys, you actually need to stay in solitude, and even finding that solitude in the chaos if need be. That's the whole point of meditation, is being the lotus flower among the muddy waters. And I'm actually going to be doing a post on that on my Facebook page about what the lotus means. So the lotus grows in swampy areas where there's lots of bugs and frogs and snakes and crickets and all those things, and it's in mucky, dirty, muddy water, and there's a lot of slime, and there's a lot of, like, you know, plants that are kind of, you know, slimy type plants, and yet this lotus flower is able to blossom amongst that. So what that is all about is being able to live in the chaos and still be able to find that peace of mind, that meditative mindfulness. One exercise I had to do when I was learning meditation was to go on a city bus and learn how to meditate there without being obvious, not, you know, and that sort of thing, like, quiet everyone, I'm meditating. Learning to meditate even with the distractions. And when you can reach those goals and that height of meditation, it's a beautiful, freeing thing. And you guys are just about there if you haven't already been practicing that. In silence, peace prevails. You can be silent from within, even with all the noise going on in the outside. So that's for you. That is something you need to do. So solitude for you guys doesn't always mean self-isolation. It means being able to be out in the chaos and still maintain that solitude, that silence, and having that peace within. So nothing knocks you, really. This is the next couple of weeks for you guys. You're going to be super cool. Now you need to take some action though. Okay, so whatever it is you've been hesitating on, stop hesitating. That literally says that right there. Stop hesitating. Movement creates the magic. So this is a big paradox for you guys. You guys are in a paradoxal week or two. Nothing can hold you back. So this is beautiful. I love paradoxes. So it's telling you to be still and move at the same time. But it means being still from within. And when you find the strength and the peace from within, because you are solid and still, then you can move in mindful, wise ways. You're not just moving because you're, you know, I got to go here, there, and everywhere. You're moving with purpose. And that is part of your gift for the next couple of weeks, is that you're going to be very solid, and all your actions are going to be very purposeful and very deliberate. You're not going to do anything by accident. And your wisdom is really going to come through. Like I said, you're going to find that stillness within the chaos. Oh, beautiful. So you've got Temperance. I love this card. In my working deck, oh, she's a beautiful woman in Temperance. Temperance is actually one of the angel cards. It's Archangel Michael who's on Temperance. So he's the warrior angel. He is the angel of action, right? But Temperance, I love this card because it means you are able to embrace both the stillness and the movement at the same time. Just like this woman is able to feed or water a bird from the air, from the divine, and water the flower who's part of the earth, part of that energy. She's embracing both realms, the higher and the lower. She's grounded, and yet she's connected to the divine. You can see this light here, like she's, oh, kind of thing. Oh, you know, that sort of thing. So it's much cuter when my granddaughter's doing it. But she's been tempered. So she's gone through the fires of hell. So whoever picked this 46 pile has seen some stuff, so to speak, right? And has gone through a bit of a hell and has had that faith crisis, but now is able to embrace, has gained the wisdom and the solitude and the peace and the movement. So it's beautiful that you're able to have this temperance happening. Because you've been tempered like the sword that is made by the blacksmith. The blacksmith tempers the sword, and when he tempers it properly, it means that you are unbreakable. So over the next couple weeks, you are unbreakable. This is awesome. You have some beautiful strength happening. So as great as all that is, the fool that you got was the drunken fool. So don't get too high on your horse. Don't let your head blow up, kind of thing. The fool's wisdom is sober up. So take things seriously. With it, you know, there's nothing wrong with a taste of humor, absolutely. But take things seriously. And don't be silly necessarily. The fool is silly, but he's saying, you know, it's one thing to be childlike, it's another thing to be silly. So embrace your child, your inner child, but don't be silly about things. Again, the gift is that you've got this wisdom, so use it. That's what this card is about. Use the wisdom that you've gained, because maybe you have some doubts about how wise you really are. You have gained a lot of wisdom over the last few months. So use it. Be aware of it. Now we're going to do our, I'm just holding my pendulum. So I've got 9 questions here. So I usually do anywhere between 9 and 11. So I've got 9 that I've picked out. If you put a question up too late, then I might not be able to answer it, or it wasn't calling to me for whatever reason. So the first question I've got is from Dawn, and the question is, will we buy the house we are in? It's giving me a maybe. There's something that needs to change. There's something that needs to change. Let me see if I draw a card. Eight of Swords. So you got the Eight of Swords as kind of the card that goes with that. There's something that you need to get out of your life. The Eight of Swords is saying you need to cut something out. I'm getting the message, it's something you're telling yourself. You're kind of lying to yourself. I don't know, maybe it's about, you know, maybe the situation that you're in. Maybe you think you're more financially able to do this than you really are. Maybe you're denying some debts that you have. I don't know. But I'm sensing that there's something you're not wanting to see about your financial setup. So it's saying maybe. It's a conditional yes sort of thing, and the Eight of Swords is saying there's something that you need to cut. So whether it's a belief as far as, you know, what your savings are, or how financially set you are, or whether there's debt that needs to be handled first, something along those lines needs to be looked at first, and then yes, the house you're in will be bought, but other things need to be tended to first. So that's where your focus needs to go first. I hope that helps. So now we're going to work with Jess. I've got Jess here. Will I find and be with my husband this year? It is saying yes. Yes, you will. It is saying it's not going to be till later. So it doesn't mean you're getting married this year. Just putting that out there. But yeah, it won't be till later, like November, December, that you're going to find him. He might be in your life before then, but you're not going to recognize him until then. So keep that in mind. Just that knowledge alone might change things. So yes, the answer to your question, Jess, is yes. Now, Angie, I've got Angie here. Is everything going to work out with him and I? Wow, okay, so this is going around in a really big circle. Really big circle. So there's a lot of confusion around you guys. I'm not sure of the situation or whatever. But there's a lot. It's not saying yes, it's not saying no, it's not saying maybe. It's just going rah, rah, rah. So there's a lot of confusion. It's very clouded. So let me see what the cards might tell me, because It's not saying yes or no. It's saying I need more information or something like that. So you've got the Six of Pentacles. Interesting card. You've got the Six of Pentacles. So sixes are about a little bit of growth. You're on opposite ends of things. Do you guys not see eye to eye on a lot of things? Because I have a feeling you've got a lot of deal breakers in your relationship, and maybe you guys didn't really thrash those out before you got into a committed relationship with this person, and now now you're finding out all these deal breakers, and you have over the years, and you've kind of maybe turned a blind eye to a couple of them, but some of them it's just like, yeah, no, I just can't, like we're just seeing so opposite. You guys are really on opposite ends of the spectrum. If you get together, it won't be until next year, like well into next year. So don't plan on spending Christmas together, because you guys probably won't. And really reflect on, whether he's the one, whether he's someone you want in your life. If you've got kids with him, obviously he's going to be in your life, but is he going to be someone you can co-parent with as opposed to cohabitate with? So there's some reflection that needs to happen. Sorry, Angie, I didn't get a clear yes or no, because my pendulum just went wild and it's just like, I don't know what's going on. So maybe you guys need to talk some more and figure these things out. But right now, you're kind of on opposite ends of a lot of things. So that needs to be ironed out before anything can happen. Lori. So Lori, we've got your question. Is he close? So Lori, my dear, I'm getting a no, but it's a rounded no. So what that kind of means is, okay, now I'm getting a maybe. So he's not really close, no, right now. He might be down the road, so that might be something you want to revisit. But right now, in this moment, no, he's not close by. There you go, that's the answer. That's all I'm getting. Now Sin, C-Y-N, I hope I'm saying that right. Sin, will there be a new job for me this year? Did you pick 72, Sin? Because if you did, then you already know the answer is probably yes. Yes, Sin, you are getting a new job this year. It's a pretty strong swing too. So, yep, a new job is coming for you. That's awesome. So keep your eyes open and your ear to the ground and look for those opportunities, because they're coming. Okay, Tanya is next. Will Hyde, I think you meant Heidi. I'm not sure. Might have been a typo. Will Heidi win her case against me? It's saying no, but it's a weak no. Yeah, it's still saying no. Okay. All right. No, it's getting stronger now. Okay. So, Tanya, the answer to your question is no. She will not win her case against you. So I hope that helps. Okay, now Vicky. Tapping into Vicky here. Will I receive an answer soon? Well, I'm doing a pendulum thing, so I would say yes, you're going to receive an answer soon, because regardless of, the pendulum's laughing too. Okay. Just hang on. We know you mean something. I didn't make people go into details because, we're on Facebook, right? So, it is saying, Vicky, that yes, you will receive an answer soon for whatever it is you need that answer for. You will be receiving it soon. So there you go, Vicky. I hope that's good news. Sarah is next. Will he come in September? Sorry, Sarah, this is taking a while. Okay, here we go. Okay, so will he come in September, Sarah? It took a little while. It was sort of like it was quite still and didn't know what to do at first, but now it's swinging to probably. It's not a hard yes, it's a probably. So hopefully you can live with that. So probably he's coming in September. Now my pendulum has been pretty accurate whenever I have used her. She's got citrine in there with her right now because she opens up. I got her in Prague from a witch in Prague. So I hunted her down and I can't open this right now. I don't want to break my nails. But anyways, there's citrine in there. It opens up. You see this little latch and you can put a little crystal in there. So I tend to keep citrine in there. I'll switch it out every once in a while. But citrine brings happiness and success and all those kind of good things. It's great for our gut instinct. That's why I tended to pick citrine, because it's the same color as our solar plexus, so that I'm tapping in to your gut energy. So last one, Tara, work related. Okay, Tara, let's see. So I don't know whether you want a yes or no, but I'm going to see what the pendulum has to say. It is a yes, a fairly strong yes too. So whatever it is, work related, the answer is yes. Like I said, it was decisive. Not like Sarah's, who it sat there and kind of went, I'm not sure what to do. Tara and Sarah. Tara, it started swinging almost right away, and it went very strong. It's going strong now because I'm rocking, but when I was holding it, it went to a very definite yes. So there you go. I hope those helped. I'm hoping to do this at least every couple weeks. I might try and do it every week. We'll see how it goes. But I'll always be posting on my Facebook page, Goddess Garage Tarot Parlor, as to when the pick-a-pile will be happening. I usually post it on a Sunday evening or Sunday during the day, and then I put up the video for the readings on Monday evening. And I'm hoping to do more pendulum and the pick-a-pile readings. So if you want to join in, please check my page on Facebook. Please subscribe to this channel, because then you'll also get notifications when the pick-a-pile comes up, especially if you click that bell, and you'll always know in case you forget. You don't want to forget, obviously, if you've picked your number and all that kind of stuff. But it'll be up here for you to peruse for the next couple of weeks, so feel free to join in. Like I said, I only answered the questions that were there from the time that I started the video. So any questions after that, unfortunately, I can't answer right now. But don't be afraid to repost those questions again when I do my next pick-a-pile. So thank you so much for joining me. Lady Rose here. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope to see you again next week. Okay, take care. Bye.